Hello artists, welcome back. It is Tuesday, July 21st, 2020. It is our 60th day of making art together. And as I told you yesterday, if you tuned in, we are working with the art of circles this week. So circle motifs throughout our lives and the world of art. So I wanted to look at Aborigine art today. So we're working with Aborigine paintings. This is Uluru in Australia. And this, my sister went to Australia in 8th grade. I helped her plan that trip with a group of 8th graders, and she went on this fantastic 2.5 or 3 week trip to Australia. Trip of a lifetime for an 8th grader or for any of us. And she brought me back this wonderful piece of art, which I have to get framed. So it's been a long time, and it's been a long time coming that I get this piece of art framed. So you can notice that the Aborigines, in traditional Aborigine art, they love to use dots. They love to use circles over and over in their paintings. This one features Uluru, the sun, and the sky, and 2 kangaroos hopping along on the land here. And so Aborigine art dates back to about 80,000 years ago, and it's really the native people of Australia who are making this art. And it was really, it first began as a way to communicate ideas, feelings, emotions, the culture, before there was a written language, and it's continued to this day in terms of beautiful art making. So we're going to do that today. I'm going to show you a few more pieces, and then we're going to try a hand at our own. So again, you might not have these supplies on hand, and that's okay. And sometimes these are also called dream wandering images. And so the Aborigines, just use that use of design over and over. And each symbol, each character, each object has a meaning, a significance. Mine today won't. I'm just going to really use the art of dots to get started. This one has a snake. This one seems to have maybe a river and a central meeting place in the land. And maybe I'm completely wrong about that. I don't really know what the meaning behind that piece of art is, or what the meaning behind the snake is. I just know that Aborigines love to use animals and shapes and symbols to represent different things throughout the world, throughout the natural world in their art. So we are going to do that today. I picked a brown piece of paper. If you come into the studio and you would like to make Aborigine art, we've got some fabulous paper to do that on. But I'm not going to use this fabulous paper today because I'm just going to get started, and if I were really being intentional and planning this out more, I would draw it out a little bit first, lightly on one of those great pieces of paper, and then I get started. So you can use lots of different colors. As you saw, the Aborigines like to use a lot of browns and even pinks, yellows, blacks, whites show up in the Aborigine art a lot. It's a great contrasting color. Here again is a snake with that circle motif in the middle. So lots of natural colors. And then in contrast to that, sometimes the blue. So here's, this is a piece of art too. And lots of different symbols that can be found. This is a symbol for woman. This is a symbol for man. A symbol for person. This is a symbol for people sitting, so if I saw that and I thought, oh, that's the flower or the sun, I was totally wrong. This is a symbol for an emu, and of course a symbol for a snake. So lots of different symbols. I love art that has symbols in it. And another really cool art form that I am attracted to is hobo art from like the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, when hobos would leave, and I know that's probably not a very conventional word to use today, but people who were traveling, maybe by train or living homeless from job to job, working from site to site, when they would come to a home, they would, on the fence posts, they would leave carved symbols in to let the next traveler know if it was a safe place to stop or not, or if they could get a place to stay or something to eat, a hot meal. Or I've even seen a symbol for a mean woman lives here. So I wonder what kind of symbols would be left outside my house today if this were those times. So what I'm doing is I've got some paint, I've got a wood dowel, You could use the end of some kind of utensil. You could use the end of a paintbrush. I even used up in Covenant one time. I had all these knitting needles donated. They were all great sizes and they were really nice to hold on to. And someone was kind of insulted I was using a knitting needle, the end of a knitting needle, even though I could wash it up and restore it to its original purpose and look. They were insulted I would use a knitting needle for painting. And I'm not a knitter, and I greatly admire knitters because I don't have the patience or the knowledge to do that. But it worked as a good tool. So I apologize to that person who was not happy I was using a knitting needle, but it really did work as a good tool for some people to hold on to. And they were nice big wood knitting needles. And I cleaned them all up, so no paint left at all. Okay, so if you have something like this, great. This would be really fun to come in the studio and talk about the animals that inspire us. You saw my video last week where I worked on a totem, you know, talking about the animals that intrigue us and inspire us, maybe have been a part of our lives and our culture. So this would be a fun one to talk about our favorite animals or animals that inspired us, or maybe even spirit animals that, you know, kind of cross our paths and have messages to give us. If you believe in that, or if maybe birds come to you or you see coyotes crossing your path, that used to happen to me quite often. Be fun to make art about them. Okay, so I'm just getting started on this and I'm just having fun. I'm just making dots and playing around with the Aborigine style of art making. So you could do anything with this. If I had a lot of time and I had white paint, and I don't have white paint, I would go in and make more and more detail. And I'll just keep playing around with this and see what happens. So again, if you're interested in trying something like this in the studio, let me know in August and September when we really get back to art making together. Watch for those sign-up times coming at the end of July, and please sign up, though you'll need to sign up for studio times, and I want to see those sign-up times filled so I can get to know you again, or get to know you better and see all the art you're making and then have a fabulous time with you. So please join us in the studio in August and September and moving forward, and have a great day. I'll see you back here tomorrow on Wednesday for more art making about circles.